Dear listener, welcome back to our channel. Let's talk about today's story. It's a great restaurant, and I've always loved the atmosphere, the food, and even the sound effects. Now, many restaurants choose the unfinished ceiling style, which amplifies noise and destroys the atmosphere of quiet conversation during dinner. But this restaurant is different. It is a fine steakhouse converted from an old house, with the original structure intact. There are 7 separate dining rooms on 2 floors, each with 6 spacious tables, providing guests with privacy. It is perfect for a romantic dinner, but tonight is far from romantic. I am having dinner with my wife, Kathy, and we are sitting at a table on the lower floor. She looks nervous, fidgeting, and unwilling to make eye contact with me. Despite her fear, I saw a certain determination in her eyes. I had barely spoken since we arrived, just getting us seated and ordering drinks while browsing the menu. I kept my eyes on Kathy as I sipped on my single malt with ice. She was still a beautiful woman, smart, successful, and there was a time when I would have given anything for her. But lately I had lost my passion for her. She doesn't know about the change in my feelings, but tonight she will hear from me, and it will upset her plans, among other things. My name is Ben Jones, I'm 49 and a software account manager. I've been married to Kathy for 28 years, and the man sitting opposite me feels like a stranger. Yes, Kathy, I sighed softly. I want to talk to you about something that would be a nice change, I replied, unable to resist the sarcasm, her lips twisting in annoyance. You're always so charming, Ben. Thank you for saying so, Kathy. I wasn't being sarcastic this time. I let the words hang in the air. I stared into her eyes and took another sip of whiskey. She looked away when the waiter approached. When he came to us, I handed him the menu and ordered the blackberry sauce with Spanish rice. Kathy was shocked by my typical behavior. She quickly scanned the menu and ordered a salad. After ordering a salad at a steakhouse, she looked at me again when the waiter had left. Ben, I've been thinking about us, about you, about me, and, well, I want to share my thoughts. I took another sip of my drink and stirred the water vapor on the glass with my thumb and forefinger. There's a difference between late and too late. What am I saying? What are you saying? What do you mean? Kathy asked confusedly. One day makes a big difference. I sighed and continued. Kathy, what are you trying to say? You're not helping me, Ben. I'm serious. I'm listening. What are you thinking? She hesitated, then took a deep breath. I think we should try a separation for a while. Nothing permanent, just to give me time to figure things out. Let's figure things out. No, I said calmly. She looked up, a lock of blonde hair falling down her face. What did you say? No. Separation will do us good, and make me fall in love with you again. Kathy, I replied with a smile. It wasn't love, nor was it a victory, but the patience of a child pleading for a little longer playtime before bed. I don't want you to fall in love with me again. I don't have the patience to listen to you justify bad behavior. To be honest, you want to separate so that you can be with someone else. She looks at you with wide eyes in shock as you talk nonsense. I'm not going to replace you. I'm not going to find someone else. You know our marriage is dead. A separation for a while can help us solve this problem and get back to the way things were. Yes, Kathy, our marriage is indeed dead. In fact, it's been dead for 2 years. I've been trying, but unfortunately, I'm the only one trying. Now, there are not 2 people in the marriage, but 3. The 3 of them are hostile. I raise my hand to stop the objections. I can see where you're going with this. You replaced me, Kathy, you cheated on me. And now you want me to accept an arrangement that will allow you to further develop the relationship. You want us to separate so that you can be with Roger and not repair the relationship with me. I won't allow it. Kathy's face twists with anger. She clutches the napkin and stares at me. You're wrong, she hisses. I didn't have an affair with Roger. He's not a substitute for you. I calmly say, what you mean is that you haven't had physical relations with Roger, but you have been unfaithful to me emotionally, replacing me with him in every way. Kathy looks uncomfortable and says, keep your voice down. Ben, there's no need to air our problems in public. Why not, Kathy? You've already done it. Tell me, who else have you talked to about the idea of separating, apart from me? She shifts uneasily. Well, I may have discussed it once or twice with Roger. Our meal arrives at this point, so discussing our marriage with Roger before talking to me is not cheating, is it? I ask. Deciding the direction of our relationship based on Roger's opinion before telling me is not cheating, is it? Roger has more say in my marriage than I do. Kathy fell silent, her face red with frustration. The waitress sensed the tension and placed our plates on the table before quickly leaving. I politely. This will only make Kathy more angry. Ben, you're making things worse, Kathy whispered. Roger is just a friend of mine, a kind, considerate listener who understands me and doesn't judge me. He's always been very helpful to me. Helpful. Kathy, let me be clear. You are an unfaithful woman. You have insulted my intelligence. You have disrespected our marriage, and you have ruined our future. Roger is smoother than a cooked onion. He needs peeling. I thought you were going to cheat, not deceive. Kathy gasped in shock, but I ignored her and turned to the waiter who had come to check on our meal, saying thank you, the meal was wonderful, and then cutting the steak and nodding in agreement. I don't like what you're doing, Ben. Kathy interrupted. I'm not a liar. I'm not cheating on you. You're wrong about Roger. In fact, I think you'll like him. He's a lot like you in many ways. Really, Kathy, I'm glad that Roger and I are interchangeable in your mind. It makes me feel really good. I said sarcastically, Roger and I are nothing alike. I don't interfere with other people's marriages. I don't go after married women, and I certainly don't play games with their emotions like he does. You deceived me, Kathy. You told Roger all the problems and triumphs of your marriage, sought his advice, his company. You no longer shared them with me. You were like a woman waiting for her line to be crossed, and it sickened me. Kathy froze at my glare. I took a bite of the fillet steak, savoring it as if it were the only good thing about that evening. Then I pushed the plate aside, took a sip of water, met her thoughtful gaze, and said softly, Ben, I didn't mean to hurt you. I really didn't. Damn you, Kathy, I thought, as I slammed the glass down on the table. You knew it would hurt me. That's why you kept it from me. Don't tell me you didn't mean to hurt me, because you never tried to protect me from it. I pulled out my wallet, put $200 on the table, and stood up to finish my last glass of scotch. I looked down at her one last time. We're not splitting up, Kathy. I filed for divorce. Divorce. Kathy fought it tooth and nail, insisting on counseling. She refused to sign at first and demanded a meeting to discuss our marriage. I refused, telling her I'd talk to her after the divorce was final, not before. I wanted a clean break so we could keep up appearances in front of the kids and grandkids, but I was adamant, and eventually I got my divorce. We divided all our assets equally, and I left. Kathy later sent me a nasty letter, questioning why I had given up on our marriage and not fought for her. I didn't bother responding, but instead sent her a photo of her with Roger, which she had kindly sent me 3 days after our dinner date. She even waited a week after the dinner date before sleeping with him. I never heard from her again. I don't date much these days. I'm no Casanova, and as long as I have occasional company, I prefer to be alone or with my children, grandchildren, close friends. My children initially took Kathy's side and couldn't understand what she had done. I calmly explained to them that if your spouse stopped loving you and started seeing someone else, would you accept it? Would you agree to a separation so they could explore the affair without guilt? Eventually, they understood that my relationship with the children had improved, even though their bond with Kathy had weakened. Kathy remarried and divorced again within 2 years. She and Roger never married, and apparently they only slept together once. I don't care to know why. As for me, I took early retirement and moved to the country. I live a simple life and no longer waste energy on people who don't deserve or want my love. I do miss the woman I thought I would spend my life with, but I am glad I freed myself from a loveless marriage with someone I no longer knew or respected. We had many good times, but Kathy left me before I did. Dear listeners, please share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.